Hi beautiful humans, it's Kate here from Pixie K Designs. We are going to make some tags today. This is my catch up for 50 stack challenge. So I'd like to make these little tags. I saw Anna do them on a short on her channel and I will link that below. She used some PE tape, but I've got some little photos and things I want to use. But first I want to age this, and I'm going to be using some paint, so there might be some drying time, etc. So firstly I want to rough this up. Now this is like 270 GSM craft cardstock. So I'm just going to take my little sander and I'm going to go around and I'm going to just sand the edges so they're kind of like scruffy and sort of not sharp and clean looking. It's a very dull grey Sunday today. I've been for my walk and I did 6 kilometres today, so that's up from 5 because I started at 4, then I went to 5. Now I'm I was waiting to go to 6 because, you know, once you're at 6. So I did 6 yesterday. No, I had rest day. I did 6 on Friday, or whenever I last did a walk. I did 6. Might have been Friday actually. And Jet was a bit of a rascal, which is really unusual for him. He's normally so well behaved, and he just did a few odd things while we were out walking, which was annoying. But then today I did 6, and I did it in the fastest time. So I didn't have Jet with me because he is with David. They've gone hunting and they're coming back today. But I think not having the dog and stopping and starting for him and stuff is helpful to get faster. Right, now I've got some paint here. It is acrylic, just an acrylic paint in light buttermilk, Deco Art. And normally I use my finger, but I'm going to use a brush, and I'm just going to go around the edges, kind of with a dryish brush really. Don't know how this is going to turn out. Maybe I should pour some paint out onto something, like just onto there. Yeah, so I was going to go on my bike. I decided no, I'll just walk. So that was good to get done. Then I had a few piles accumulating in my studio, so I had a bit of a clean up. I filmed a little short haul video, which will probably have gone up already by the time you see this. It's just a little short one, but I had some stuff I wanted to put away, so that was good. And I've had a vacuum and everything's looking spick and span down here, so that's cool. All right, so I'm not, often when I do stuff like this I worry about what it's going to look like, so I'm going to actually just go a little bit more into the center with this one. Okay, and then this, repeat it with this one. So the prompts for that I'm doing, I don't know the numbers, I've lost track of numbers, but is splattered paint and stamps and stamping, not postage stamps. I think we've done postage stamps, but I guess people are using postage stamps if they don't actually have inky stamps, but I have plenty that I never use, or very rarely. So I've actually got a few vintage French ones that I might use, that I've had for so long, never use them. No, that's not true. I have used them, of course I have. Okay, so that's my painty bit done, I think, for now. And then once it's dry, I will want to ink it as well, to just kind of get some more sort of aging, I guess. Not that it's really aging, but just for more brown. And yeah, and then the stamping. So I will go away and get my stamps, and then I'll come back and do the stamping. Okay, I'm going to use Vintage Photo Distress ink and see if I think that's dark enough. I could go for some walnut stain. Okay, so let's do some stamping. I've got this stamp here, Creative Expressions, who, I don't know what's going on with them, but they're no longer what they used to be. I'm going to get a block. Okay. And I'm just going to stamp on these. I don't know. It doesn't need to be good stamping, which is great for me. I might just go up about there. So there's one. I'm going to do them the same-ish. Okay, and there's the other. And then I've got these two stamps are old. You can see, I don't know if you can see, but here they've cut out some of the stampy bit. So these are sort of old stamps. So let's just see. I'm just going to pop it down there. Does it look weird? I don't know. Doesn't matter. And there. And I don't know what this one says. Let's have a look. Yeah, so it's had something taken out of there. That's okay. I'm just going to go half on and half off. I didn't really actually want that much stamping, but anyway. Let's leave it at that. That's probably a bit much. And then I was going to use these little photos that I have. And I was going to do some splattering. And now I feel like I've done way too much stamping. I want a lot less than that. That's a shame. So I might do a little bit more paint. It's all experimental and new, pretty new to me, so I'm going to use my finger. And then we're going to do the splattering. So I'm actually doing stamping and splattering on the same thing. Paint splatter. So a bit more paint on that one, a bit more paint on this one. Yeah, this is all not something I'm confident with, doing stuff like this, but there might be someone out there who thinks, oh, if she can do it, I can do it. Yep, it's about right. And it's fun getting your fingers making a bit of a mess. I was going to use some crackle paint as well, but I have seen people use a dryer to dry it, a heat gun, but I thought, well, my understanding was that you needed to let it dry naturally, air dry, and that takes ages, so I'm not going to do any crackle, although I do love it. Okay, so now I've really gone overboard now with the stamping and with the paint. So I'm going to dry them. So there we have our 2 tags. I've got these little photos, like I said. And now I'm going to do some splattering. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to use this. I'm going to use this other thing I've got that I've had for a long time. And I'm going to try that. So yeah, I've literally had this for years. Delusion's white linen ink spray. And I'm a bit nervous about making a huge mess. I've got my laptop right there, so I think I'm going to actually take the time to protect that. So more brown paper, I'll just lean that up there just to protect it, and I'll try and splatter over there. So I'm just giving this a good shake, and if you squirt it, you get that kind of splatter. Can you see that? Yeah. But I kind of want more drips. So I don't know whether if I take this out. Yeah, I think I want drips like that. So let's give it a go. Okay. So it kind of fades into the board a bit. So I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. Do another one. I think it's probably all a bit much, but anyway, there we go. Those are done, and I'll dry them so you can hardly see them. Anyway, let's have a look what it looks like with the photos on. The splatter is a bit of a fail, I think. Wonder why. Yeah, see, it just disappears when it hits. Is it something to do with the ink? Where it hits the stamping ink, maybe? I'm not sure. Because these ones up here just gone. Very strange. I don't know. Anyway, let's dry them off again, and I think I'm just going to call it a day. Anyway, not everything is a success. Far, far from it. Okay, you can see a few. Okay, I'll just give this a wipe. Right, the pictures. Am I just going to glue? I think I'll glue them down. I might use some tape, I think. Yeah, I'm going to glue them on. This is the one I did off camera, and it's a slightly different cardstock. It's already pre-prepared, and I think I like this one with the less stamping, actually. I think a glue stick should be alright to glue them on with. Maybe I'll do a mix of glue stick. I've had these little tiny photos. I bought a photo album that had all these little sort of, obviously little snapshots that someone had taken, I think in the 40s and 50s, of a holiday. And they're just sitting there and they need to be used. So here we go. So this one's going to go here like that. This one, I can take that paper wall down now, and I can see on my computer whether I'm in screen or not. definitely overdid the stamping on this one. That's all right. And then this one. I might need a bit more encouragement to stay down. Okay, now I might try some darker ink. I've got gathered twigs or walnut stain. Always find the dark inks a bit nerve-wracking. I think this is walnut stain. What does the gathered twigs look like? I quite like the gathered twigs. Let's just go a bit around the outside with the gathered twigs. What would I use these for? I don't know. I guess they might have to go into my little grungy box that I've been popping things into. Okay. Just these need holes, hole reinforcers. Okay, I think I am going to use some tape. I'm not sure whether I want to use more neutral or whether I want some colour. Got these kind of cool washies here. I've got this red number. I think this is, I'm going to end up making this way too busy, but oh well. Yeah, I don't know. This one's got less stamping on it, so it's not as... Although with the craft cardstock you can see the edge of the washi, can't you? So that's not ideal, but anyway. Maybe I'll use old sellotape for the others. I think this is going to be one of those projects where I'm going to come down, leave it out and have a look tomorrow and decide whether I like it or not. Because I'm not really sure at this stage. But that's okay. It was fun. It's been fun doing them. I want more tape. this one I'm going to cut the edges off, because you can see them on the craft cardstock. Again, this is washi I've had in my drawer for a very long time, so it is actually good to use the old stuff that we have. So they are quite busy, probably not what I had in mind. But there we go, that is paint splatter. Now I'm going to get myself organised and we'll do stamping, and I'm going to do something super simple. So I've done a bit of prep. That takes longer than the video. So this is some beautiful handmade sort of cotton rag paper that I have, and I've coffee dyed it. And actually don't feel like I'm done with my splatters, and I was thinking I might like some gold, but I'm thinking, should I maybe just do one rather than do the whole piece? Yeah, I think so. So I'm going to tear this and hope it, I mean, you're never going to get that lovely edge. I've got some here, let's just do it about that size. See what we end up with. There, this. So I should have done the tearing and then the coffee after. So let's do one out of that and one out of this and see what we think. But yeah, I should have torn them first and then done the coffee, because now on this one we've got that sort of white edge. So I'm going to go and add the coffee to that so it's more consistent. Okay, right, so I am going to give them a bit of a splatter with the gold. I probably should protect my laptop. Okay, it's splattering but not on my tag, so I don't know where it's going. Here we go. Oh boy. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Enough is enough. Because really this one is for the prompt stamp. So, I need to dry this now. So I'll go dry these and then we'll stamp. So I want these to kind of look like botanical sort of drawings. I'm going to use my stamping platform because I think I'll just have better luck with that. And that way if I do muck it up, it's not the end of the world. So I'm going to use this lovely set that I have, and a lot of people ask me where I got this. Now this, if I'm really honest with you, this came in a sheet and at a craft sort of show I went to, and my friend Barb said, oh, you should buy that. And I was like, well, I don't know how to put these onto anything. And so you can see my pretty rough job. I then bought some of this rubber, this soft rubber, and I put all the stamps on there, and then I cut around them. So it's a real rough job. I didn't really know what I was doing. Now I have a favourite one, as you probably all know. This is my favourite, so I'm going to use that one, and I think I'll use this one. Or actually, I wonder if I might use this one. That's really big. I might use that one. I hope that it works. Okay, so I'm going to put my stamp, my tag in here. And then what I need is I want to try and get this, but because I didn't think about this being straight, so I could sort of level it out. So this is an iris, I think. Maybe it's a little bit tall. Okay, I'm going to go back to using this one. Okay, and I'm just going to pop it on there and hope that I've positioned it nicely. Close this up and then ink the stamp, and I'm going to use this dark brown ink called Potting Soil Archival ink. A bit of pressure on it. It's quite lovely thick absorbent paper, so it might need 2 goes. Yeah, I think I'm going to give it another, hopefully I won't overdo it, but just give it another little impression, or whatever you call it, little press down. Yeah, so that's that one. And then I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to just use the magnets to keep the tag still. Move that one off. And again, use the brown ink. Oh, I don't even know if I asked everybody how you are. Possibly not. Probably just got straight into it. But I hope you are all well and having a lovely weekend. It's just the end of the weekend here, so I hope you're having a lovely week, which is what it will be when this goes up. It'll be midweek probably, or sometime. And I'm obviously behind Amy with the prompts. Yep, love that. That is it. I just love that stamp so much. But as I said, there was no brand and there were no others. And to be honest, I can't even remember the seller of these stamps, so I can't help you find them, I'm afraid. I'm sorry about that, but I'm so glad I bought them, because I wasn't going to, but I'm so glad I did, because I don't use stamps very much, but I have, of all the stamps I have, these and probably samples are the ones I use the most. Okay, so there we go, super simple. That's going to be my prompt for stamp, but I am going to add some holes and things at the top at least. But I am going to leave them really, really plain like that. I'm just going to ink these hole reinforcers a bit more so they're just a bit darker. And then I'm going to put try and get it sort of in the middle. That's where it's going to go. And this one, put that there. And then punch it. Ooh, that is really thick paper. So as you can see, you don't have to do anything fancy with your stamping. I'm just a very beginner stamper. It's not something I'm really good and creative at. I find it difficult. So again, I have done some things that could be added to and altered a little bit further down the track as they would find a journal. So I had already made some of these, but with it, it's a much lighter card. The other thing I thought I might like is to put maybe some old ledger or paper on the bag as a writing space and have them tied together. So we've got these, very, very simple, and we have these tags. So basically I've used stamping and splattering on both of them to differing results. I definitely like the one with the less stamping on it compared to the ones with the more. I'd love to know what you think. And yeah, I love these stamps, and I just really love the simplicity of this. If you didn't have stamps like this, I was just thinking, I have these books. If you live in New Zealand, these are actually a good book to look out for, and they're not that hard to find. And they have sort of line drawings. If you wanted to, you could cut them out. Obviously, that's going to be tricky, or tear them out. For example, let me just tear this out. You could, instead of stamping, because you don't have the stamps, let me just see what we could do. Let's tear across the top here. I'm not going to cut, obviously I'm not going to fussy cut this out. It would be just so difficult. But you could do something like this. Bear with me. It's just always good to have an alternative, I think. Often I'll see someone make something like, oh, I want to make that, but I don't have that particular thing. Okay. And I'm just going to tear down that side. And you could just actually layer that on. Stinking mayweed maybe will take, so you could leave that on if you wanted the title of the plant. That's quite cool. It says figure 96. I really like that. So let's ink around the outside. And you could put some brown paper behind it as well if you wanted to just give it a bit more of definition around the outside. So yeah, you could do that instead, and that would still look really cool, I reckon, on the tag. So if you've got a little old book that's got these sort of botanical line drawings in, they make really cool little tags and things as well. So yeah, I really like that as well. I might do something like that. I haven't used that Weeds of New Zealand book for ages. I've got a couple. I've already used a whole one of those from earlier things I've made in the past. So there we go. There's my things. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed that and got something out of it. I will link Anna in the description box below, and obviously Amy, who's running the 50 stack challenge. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you again soon in the next video. Thanks so much. Bye.